Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Mr. Fix-It channel. I got the CB160 in the shop today and it's coming down to the wire. Stay tuned. So the electrical system on this bike is actually pretty simple. There's a few issues. I don't have a neutral light. I need to check the charging system. I need to get the brake light for the front brake work, and I got light to the rear brake but not to the front brake. So let's get into this. So as far as the neutral light goes, the neutral light on this bike, the wire is green with red. Comes all the way out of the headlight bucket, follows down, and there's a switch right down in here. And if you notice, there's the green with red, and that's the switch right there. So this is just broke off. So it took me a minute to figure out, but the light bulb in that was blown. So I took the one out of the high beam indicator, swapped it in there, and if you see, if I touch this, the ground, that's our neutral light. So all the wiring from here to there is good. I just need to reconnect that back inside there. This ought to be fun to do. Do this without melting the other wires is the trick here. Let's see, let me try and get the clutch cable out of my way. That might help things here. Come on. Come on. Aha. Got him. Huh, no neutral light. What the heck now? Huh. Got it soldered on there. Don't know. Oh, it's disconnected over here. That makes sense. There we go. Alright, got a neutral light. Okay, as far as the brake light's concerned, for the front lever here, these are the wires to it. These were plugged into these wires here. These wires here are actually for the horn, and there is no horn. So I'm gonna put a horn on here so that the horn button will work. But I don't see any other wires for the front lever brake light. So I may have to add some wiring to this bike so that you have a brake light for the front and the rear brake pedal. So I keep a bunch of old wiring off of old bikes just in case I might need something. And right now I need the female end of a bullet connector. So something like that is what I need. These are the small bullet connectors, so I need to find a small female bullet connector end in this mess somewhere. Like that. That's what I need right there. Alright, so I spliced into the power source to the horn, and I run a new wire, this blue wire, all the way back to the wire on the brake light. So now I got that and that. So there we go. That's fixed. Moving on. So I'm moving on to the charging system here. I'm going to check it. Since I got the tank off, I'm just going to use a small bottle here and top off the carburetors so I can run this thing without the tank on it. Alright, I'm going to look at the voltage at the battery first. So it appears we are charging, so that's a good sign. It's charging, but it's not charging well. So let's get into checking the stator. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see if the stator is grounded out. You got this group of wires coming out of the engine here. The green with red stripe, that's your neutral light wire. You got this yellow wire, which is burnt, and it's not quite yellow anymore. You got this pink wire and this brown wire. These three are the three phases of your stator here. So I got my black lead grounded to the case, and I got my meter set at the beep. So I'm just going to check to make sure none of these are grounded. Okay, that one's good. That one's good. That one's good. Okay, now I'm going to check the resistance. So how I do that is I'm just going to pick any one of these three legs, and I'm just going to ohm it. Okay, so we got 3.4, 2.7, we got 1.1. Now I'm going to have to confirm these readings with the manual to see if that's correct. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the stator output. I'm going to switch my meter to volts AC. So we're going to change that to AC. I'm going to start the engine, and we're going to look for the output voltage. All I'm doing is I'm jumping between the three legs. So I put one terminal on one leg and the other terminal on the other leg, making sure nothing's touching here. 21, 22 volts. That looks good. I'm going to swap the legs. That one looks good. Okay, that all looks good. So the stator's working just fine. So it may be this rectifier or the wiring going to it. Okay, I'm going to set my meter to diode, check diode function, which is the, looks like an arrow pointing into a cross. Well, it looks like that's checking out. Let me check that we're not going to ground on any of these. Alright, everything's checking out. Make sure the rectifier is actually going to ground. Okay, we got continuity to ground. Okay, now the next thing is this electric starter. The wire on the handlebar has been removed, and there's no wiring going from the solenoid down to the starter, and I assume there's probably a problem here. I got the starter all apart here. I'm just looking at a few things. Commutators don't look too bad. We'll check that a little bit later. I'm looking down in here. There's a lot of oil that's leaked in here, so I need to get this cleaned out. So I'm going to get this thing apart. Looks like the magnets are electromagnets. They're not permanent magnets. So there's a wire right there. I need to undo that, and I should be able to slide the brush holder out. So let me get this off of here. Maybe. Some corrosion in here. Try to hold this connector while I unscrew this and scrape off some of this corrosion. Maybe hit it with some penetrating lube. Try some of this. Let that soak in for a few minutes, see if I can get this apart. Alright, got that broke loose. Pull this screw out here. Okay, that should, yeah, that's going to release the brushes. Okay, the brushes are definitely sticking in there. Some crud got down in that bearing. Let me get that out of there. Okay, looks like there's enough brush left for this to work. It may just need to be cleaned up. And I think I have just a trick for that. You stick this in the ultrasonic cleaner. Alright, while we're waiting on that, I'll go ahead and do some continuity checks here. So this is where the starter wire bolts on. I'm going to check it to the case. Nothing there. Okay, we got continuity there with some resistance, but none to the case, so it's not shorting out through here. Let's check the brushes. Okay, that's got continuity. Okay, everything seems to be checking out here. Let's check the commutator. Just checking for ground, anything shorted out in here. Okay, that all seems good. Alright, everything seems to check out inside this starter, so maybe we'll get lucky and it's just that the brushes are stuck. Alright, with everything cleaned up, I did find an issue in that this spring that holds the brush is broken. So me being me and me being a pack rat, I salvaged the spring out of another old starter and I'm just going to swap these out. How easy that's going to be is yet to be determined. Alright, let me fight with this for a few minutes. Alright, that wasn't too bad. See, we got contact now on the brushes. Yes, we sure do. Looks like good contact. Alright, this thing may actually work. Get this reassembled here. See, I'm going to put a little bit of oil on that bushing. Okay, looks like I gotta put this in this way and then put this on. Gotta line that contact up. Let's see, bend that out just a little like that. Okay, a little screw. Put this guy back in. See, I'm gonna have to hold that like that and tighten this down. Okay, got that. Alright, now the top end, see there's a little notch there, so there's a little post there and a little dimple there, so I gotta line those up like that. Okay, now these long screws, put these back in. Now let me grab a battery. That's what I'll do. See, jumper cables. I don't know if this battery has any charge in it or not. I guess I could check that. But I guess this will tell us just as easy as anything. Oh, would you look at that? Got ourselves a working starter there. Alright, this starter goes into a drive system and I got to take this cover off so I can hook the drive system back up. I'm going to lose oil. I do have a gasket to replace with this gasket, so I'm going to pop this cover off and get that starter hooked back up. Let that oil drain for a few seconds here. Shame to waste brand new oil. Oh well, it's missing parts inside here. For crying out loud. Well, that was a waste of energy. I don't have the drive gear and the chain. Well, I'm going to have to do some searching on the net and find this chain and sprocket that goes on here. So unfortunately the project's going to have to stop for right now. To be continued. Well, unfortunately that's how it goes with these old bikes. Somebody decided that the electric starter was not worth fixing and took out the parts. All the wiring was dismantled to the electric start. Not sure why. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.